Hello and welcome to my YouTube channel right here. Today I'm going to turn this face that I use as a logo. I made this face about 3 or 4 years ago, I don't remember. So I am going to turn it into something much cooler with the new things and new skills that I learned. Now I am looking around for texture, skin texture, hair texture, and a lot of things. I'm trying as possibly as I can to not run into a licensed image. So you guys might notice in this video that I will use a licensed image. Then when I figure it out, I will just delete that and use another textures from an image that's not licensed. It's very important for you guys and for me and for everyone to do it the right way. I think this texture for the hair is perfect. I don't know what I'm doing right here. It's not that important. This tool is amazing, yet I just learned how to use it, so you may find, guys, that I'm not very comfortable using it, yet I'm learning. Every one of us is. I think it's wrong. I want the hair to be falling up. Yeah, just like that. But why is this happening? Just delete. It's very complicated. No. I think I'm going to do it from this start. Yeah, pen tool is a magic. Never underestimate it. Say, never underestimate pen tool and say, no, I got to develop myself now. You're always going to do it the traditional way. I use pen tool for the mask now. I will be more comfortable using this tool, this wrap tool too. I'm trying something here, but I don't think it's going to work. Now after I use the pen tool as a mask, I am more comfortable to use the wrap tool to edit the texture. Once again, guys, it's my first time using this tool at all in Adobe Photoshop. I made this picture on Adobe Illustrator. I watched a tutorial and I followed it and put my own thing in it, and it turned out great. I love this picture. I used to use it as a logo for almost everything I have. Now I am trying to make it better. Now for the mustache, I need to do the mask. And turn that into selection and fill it up. Copy it, flip horizontally. When I made this image, I made sure that everything is proportionally right and its own, and it's in its own place. For the mustache, I'm trying to bend the texture here a little bit, but I am not comfortable using this tool too much right now to do a lot of crazy things. I don't think that is going to work either. Yeah, that's creepy. Nah. Try something else. Yeah, I guess. But is that how mustaches sound in real life? I mean, no. I think I'm going to leave them. For you guys who don't know me, I used to have a big mustache. I only shaved it last month, and I shaved my big beard. That's why I designed this image like that. Oh no, that's not how it is. Anyway, I'm going back to the mustache later. Now let's focus on the beard. Let's not get distracted with little stuffs. Flip, and join. For the beard texture, I chose this curly hair. Maybe you guys are not that satisfied right now, but trust me, it's going to turn out great. For the teeth and mouth, I think I'm going to do the mouth now. So we're now guys in a phase that's just making the shapes, filling them and organizing, making masks, putting textures. Only that, because we need to be very organized before we get into the work. So don't get bored for now. We're going to have a lot of fun later. Just for the first phase, make sure everything is in its right place. Now let's start having some fun by adding shadows. Yeah, that brush is not that good. I need to, yeah, the opacity was a problem. You can now, guys, see that we're already having fun just by adding little shadows. Imagine what's going to happen at the end of the video, so stick and follow up step by step to see how someone that doesn't know everything like me can make a piece of art just by learning some new tricks. I only learned these tricks a few days ago, when I was with my graphic designer friend looking on YouTube for some random tricks and for skilled YouTubers, and we liked it when we ran into this thing. I'm trying to following up the lines of the texture here, so everything is not going to look crazy. Adding some shadows to the beard as well. I need a lot of shadows for the beard because the texture is killing it. I am following up exactly the textures line to add the shadows. I don't need to draw everything from scratch, since I can have a very good texture and shadow mixed together. Actually guys, having a big mustache was a huge challenge for me. It's very exhausting. I don't know why people don't like big beard with big mustache. They're sexy. I'm just playing around. You may think guys that I just did everything. No, wait till the coloring phase. We're going to have great time. The size of the head. Put in the same texture as the mustaches on the sides of the head. Adding them some shadows here and there to make it look like the upper hair is covering the sides a little bit. For the beard, of course, darkening everything around. Actually, for an artist, you can do great stuffs just by using the right brush. So always look after your brush settings. Now for the skin. I use this texture as the skin. It's 100% real skin. For the ears, left ear, and copy it using the same face texture. That's a little complicated. Wait till the mouth and the eyes. They're going to have a lot of time and effort. Now for the teeth here. This texture sounds very good. Actually, guys, I'm amazed how on Google and on the internet in general you can find everything you want. Yeah, the previous texture was licensed, that's why I looked for another free one. Adding some shadows to every teeth and looking after every and each tooth to every and each tooth, just like in reality. Oh, a lot of things to handle. Don't get bored, guys, just by whining, just by my whining. Of course, if you need a great result, you're going to put a lot of effort and time. Just watch the little details. Shadows are great. I like the code that says everything was made from shadows, because even in art you'll notice that it is real. Actually, shadows make everything. Let's make a new mask. Color. Of course, I'm not going to choose a blue color for the inner mouth. Something like dark red or something like that. Yeah. And for the tongue, if you're guys wondering, I'm recording the video that I'm explaining the work, and I am working on separately different times. Just I tried as hard as I can to be with you and to explain every step what I did in this piece of art. I like to call it piece of art because it's going to look wonderful in my own opinion. You can put your own opinions in the comments down below when you're done watching the videos. And I like criticizing, so please be honest with me if you liked it or not, if you're thinking about having new skills or new talents. Now for the nose. That's a big nose for sure. Actually, everyone has a big nose, or that's what I believe. Making it look a little bit realistic, but not that realistic. For the eyes, I used the same shape when I designed the face, so I know exactly what I am dealing with. I use the same shape for the eyebrows, but it's not going to work very well like that. I think I need to, because Photoshop differs from Illustrator when using shapes. I think I'm going to do a new mask using the pen tool, copying it and pasting. Yeah. You notice, guys, that I am lazy. I just tend to do a little bit work and copy and paste. And I want to make everything to look proportionally right. Just I did design the character using Illustrator. So I'm going to look for a perfect nose for my perfect character. I'm just thinking, yeah, no. I downloaded it with high resolution. Now making some magic. Yeah, the opacity. Not the opacity. The edges. Okay, trying to adjust that a little bit. Sound like an oval shape. Looking for perfect pupils. License, not good. Yeah. This one is a little bit hazy, but you can just adjust colors and shadows. That's it. Now, trying to be as organized as I could. For the skin, here, guys, you can see that while doing the skin, I realized that it's a licensed photo in a minute. So I'm just going to change it and use another free one after adding these shadows. Yeah, I need a free skin. It's creepier, darker. We can adjust anything we want. Put in the same skin for the ears. Deleting some shadows, clearing things up. I want them to sound like one shape, like the nose is going out from the nose, and the eyes and the eyebrows too. Just in the shadows, so it won't sound creepy or very crazy. I had this idea here to add some extra textures to the eyebrows myself by deleting, by erasing the unwanted parts. Adding the shadows and following the exact lines. I still feel there's something odd about it. It's not that perfect yet. Trying different stuffs. Yeah, maybe by deleting, by erasing the edges a little bit, it will sound more natural. Yeah, that's too much erasing. It's good. Erasing the shadows that I already added as well, here and there. Adding some below the eyes. Adding some depth to the face. Adding some skin texture. Let's go this way. You can see, guys, I am not using a reference here since I am using my imagination, but we need to use references in drawing faces and shading them and coloring them. I am sure 100% that I just did something wrong there, but it's still my first try using this new art style, and I'm very excited to see what the result will be, even doing these tiny mistakes. You notice, guys, I saved the file so I won't lose my work, and I'm just now adding some texture, some depth to the beard. I want it to sound as naturally as possible, and not that naturally. I still want it to sound cartoony. Here I noticed a little mistake by merging the layers. It happened. It happens. Little shading for the nose. Unifying our character's face. Of course, under the nose, there need to be some shadows because the nose is covering the mustache. Trying to be as organized as possible. Now for the coloring, always try to pick very good colors, because coloring, they're not the most important about the character, but they do matter. They do matter. I'm not trying to be very precise there, just using something natural. For the eyes. Trying to make our character look as one object, not too many objects that are attached to each other. Here I'm just trying something for the nose. Of course I'm not going to use the green color for the nose. I think more of a red. Not that brown, no, I need a red one. Yeah, I mean that's perfect. For the nose to look pinky. Yeah, I'm trying to add gradients because from my experience, guys, I noticed that coloring a character would be great, but coloring the character with gradients would be awesome. Actually, there's a fun fact about the teeth coloring. Several days ago I got a freelance work for a company in UAE, and for a clinical work I colored some 3D teeth, and they replied to me saying that you should use natural coloring teeth, so the teeth are not 100% white. You should color them yellow, bright yellow. Just make sure, my friends, make sure that everything and every new knowledge is useful for a graphic designer and for an artist, because some things will never be taught to you. You got to learn them by yourself. Making sure the tongue is separated from the inner mouth by darkening the mouth and making the tongue expose by choosing the right color. This is not what I intended to do, but I actually liked it and leave it this way. Now for coloring the beard. And for the skin actually. One more time, gradient color. Do you know what the secret that makes a good graphic designer better than other graphic designer? Gradients. That's the whole secret. And I am very pissed that nobody says that. They all lie and say it's a talent. No, it is not. Of course you got to have some talent to be a graphic designer, but talent is not everything. You need to learn the secret skills. And from my experience, nobody gives you secret skills, only in very expensive courses. So if you're a poor guy like me, you got to learn that the hard way. No one is going to teach you. I tried here to make the nose goes with the skin by choosing the right color for the skin and readjusting the nose a little bit, but I think I don't need to do anything else. Let's get back to Google. Thankfully, Google understands any language I type. I chose the yellow color. I like this. I like it very much, and I love this color. The yellow that goes to the orange a little bit. I chose that for the background when I designed this character. Now I need to add some details. I don't have anything in mind to add for the minute. So yes, I'm using the paint software to just change to PNG. It's easier and faster than using some other software or online software. I'm trying to remove the background and wow, good work Adobe, doing it the traditional way, and I'm very lazy to do it very perfect before I see what the result is going to be. So I want to make sure that everything is okay and great and perfect before I redo it manually. I noticed here I made some mistakes. I just selected the wrong layer. Yeah. Let's see if it's going to work. I don't want things to sound good. I want them to look perfect. So you might guys see that I am trying and again using Paint software to transform in the TIFF to PNG. Was it TIFF? The web actually to PNG. And I am trying and I don't like it. At this point, guys, I wondered if I suck. But one thing I learned by doing graphic design is you only get a perfect result when spending perfect time trying. Yeah. Shades in the sky. No. Let's Ctrl Z that. I'm trying to figure out what's the problem here. Actually, I found that it's a licensed image. Again, download the free one. High resolution. Flip it. That's when I figured that the character is way more cool without a background, just using the white orangey background. Added some highlights. Just to make sure that the character isn't the problem. I'm using if you ever wondered, guys, if I am using a pen to draw this, no, I'm using just a mouse. I got a pen and the tablet, but I am a professional using a mouse because I've been using the mouse to draw things for 7 years now. But I still find the pen more useful in some specific conditions. Not this condition. I came up with the idea of making some highlights on the left of the scene that's hitting the character, and making sure that everything and every highlight I add is on another layer that's masked to the object I am editing. I'm trying to adjust the lights on the hair, actually on the beard. I don't like these. Should I just delete them? Yeah, the rim light is very perfect. You can see, guys, how the character is just pop out from the scene when adding these lights. So I am surely in love with shadows. But also, I love a little bit lights. I love lights a little bit. Let's add some blur and see how the magic works. But nothing happened. Another blur. Different blur. Yes, that's what I'm talking about. Now they look more like lights. Yeah, it's way more better this way. I like the shadows on the edge, on the angles. Let's try something different this time, like flames or effects. I am thinking about something crazy. I want to do something crazy, not just anything. Wow. Actually, when I saw this image, I immediately got an idea. Wait, what am I doing right now? It obviously says letters. Let's put that above. Yeah, it's very good. Now for the bottom. If you notice, the bottom is empty, so I need to add something there. Yeah, I just added some lights. Planet, yeah. I think this is going to be crazy. I'm trying to find the perfect color, shading around. Of course, I need a mask layer.
trying to make the object pop out of the scene, but not that much. This is good. I can see how I dealt with the design and how I chose the right decisions. Let's make everything sound oily, like a painting. I use the old style effect a lot. It makes pixels to look more artistic, more smooth in any image. I'm trying to add some effect, trying to look for a perfect effect. Choosing crazy colors. It's already colored, but I want to choose my own colors. Even if it already sounds cool, I want to be more creative about it. And again, just spend enough time on your artwork. Without spending enough time, you will never get an enough result. Adding some mask and deleting things around just to make sure the planet pops out in the storm. Dealing with the edges. Blur. Yeah, I love blur. Actually, guys, I don't plan when I want to do something crazy. When I want to do something crazy, I only let my ideas flow. I just open the software and try messing around here and there. Eventually, by spending enough time, you will find that you're doing great. If you have learned the right skills. I am sure that I don't know enough skills to make very perfect artwork, so I try to learn. You can see that dealing with the planet here wasn't that easy. It's very difficult to put another object in the scene, but not letting the eye focus on it. I want the eye 100% to focus on our character, not the planet itself. You can see it's really getting the attention here, and it's not that very good. Adding some colors here and there and highlights. Now here I got the idea of making a ring flame around the planet itself to sound like it's in flame, it's on fire. orange and red are the perfect flame colors. Yeah, I'm actually more used to use Adobe Illustrator than using Adobe Photoshop, but I can make things go well. Actually guys, this is my 8th year being a graphic designer. 8th or 9th. I don't remember exactly, but it's been a while now. And I only got this stage now. I am very late. And it was a good journey though. Yes. Glowing. Just like glowing is just like blurring. It's really amazing. Now the ring flame sounds acceptable, but the planet itself needs some changes. No, let's just focus on the planet. In a minute. Let's add some colors to make the planet looks more realistic. That's like it is on fire. It is really on fire. And blur those colors to blend them with the planet. I don't want everything to look in yellow, so adding some blue over there is not that bad. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. A cloud. Just be sure how these little clouds can make a scene very unique. I mean, I could add these in a brush. I don't have to download any cloud from the internet. I could have just used the brush to make them. But why wasting time? Why wasting time while already someone did? Yellow, yeah. Once again, gradient color. Even if it looks like it did nothing, but believe me, it did a lot. Yeah, put the layer in its right place among the other layers. Yeah, I'm in love with that blue. It makes me feel wow, happy. I really love that. Thanks God I recorded it while doing it, because a good moment will never happen again. It may happen again, but with different piece of art. I always add those shadows on the edges and on the angles to make the viewer see what's inside and not focus on everything else but the inside. I want the eye of the viewer to go directly to the center of the piece of art. As you noticed, guys, I didn't talk about that before, but this art is 1920 by 720. No, it's 1920 by 1080. It's made for a mobile phone screen, so you can, guys, just download this art and put it as a wallpaper for your screen, maybe. I will try to add some links so you can download it free. Now, adjusting the planet, because it's really not going well with the picture. It took me a lot of time and it was a hard decision to let the planet look like this and only like this. Lights for the face and blur. Let the face fade a little in the storm so it sounds more blending with what's going on with the whole picture. And a full effect for the whole image. I like effects. They do so much difference when you put them to the whole image. Trust me, guys, you're going to have to go with that. You're going to give it a try. Look at the yellow that it made on the sky in the background. It made everything blend with each other. Now I am just deciding the position of the character. I need that to look proportionally right. I guess that's it. Thank you guys, it was really fun. And I am looking forward to do more complex stuffs. Bye bye.